All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from Monza. Xander and Adam Barker have the front row. Nathan Alul and Byron Debelow on the second row. Rudolf Gunther and Mike Dolling on the third row. Mike Marshall and Yannick Gunther round out the field this morning at Monza. Looks like several drivers making last-minute setup adjustments, getting the fuel just right. Here they come, getting stacked up on the grid. Half of the field this morning is in a McLaren. We will see if that new McLaren can dominate the track today. Just waiting on the last couple of drivers to take to the grid here at Monza. Hey, good morning, John. Good luck, Xander. How you doing, John? The Porsche pace car leading him down. Through that final chicane, then they head down to the carousel onto the front straightaway. That first chicane, expect to see some excitement there. Doing pretty good, John. As we mentioned, Adam Barker is not in the Hello Kitty paint. Will that bring him bad luck this morning? Out of that final turn, coming down, Porsche pace car is on pit road. Xander in control. They fire and are away. Green flag is in the air at Monza, and there is a three-wide battle coming into the chicane. Xander takes it in. Everybody settles back into just two wide. Everybody powers out, gets single file very quickly. Now we get to see how these new McLarens will do. The top two in McLarens, Mike Dolling back in 6th, Mike Marshall in 7th, also in that McLaren. Several of the drivers said that McLaren is almost a second faster around this track than the Ferrari. Ferrari of Byron Debelow currently in 4th. Nathan Alul in that Mercedes sitting in 3rd. Rudolf Gunther in the Porsche in 5th. Yannick back in 8th. Xander leads him through the second chicane. Everybody so far coming out clean. Surprisingly, in practice, we saw nobody overshoot that turn like we normally see as they come through the final turn. Xander should lead lap 1. Now the question is, on the long front straightaway, can Imola use the Mercedes power to close up and make a move into the first chicane? Right on Barker's bumper, but he doesn't do anything with it. Nathan does manage to keep right on the nose of Barker's McLaren. Byron Debelo has lost a little bit of ground back and forth. Rudolph Gunther in 5th, Dolling in 6th. Marshall in 7th, Yannick Gunther in 8th, all right behind. Looks like this field is currently split. Xander already on the attack, starting to pull a gap on Barker and Alul. A lot of drivers swinging wide back behind, trying to carry as much momentum as possible. Mike Marshall looks to the inside on Dolling. Didn't have enough of a run at that point. Xander at the front was starting to pull a bit of a gap, but looks like Barker and Alul trying to close back up. Alul definitely has the power advantage. Barker forcing him to go to the outside. Oh, they touch! Barker into the inside wall. Alul saves it. Things got spicy here early. Let's take a look. Here they come down the front straightaway. Alul gets side by side. They touch. It turns Adam out. Adam gets that inside wall. And Adam has gone to pit road. There's Barker sideways, tries to keep it off the wall, but a hard hit. And it looks like the steering just broke. Barker currently sitting on pit road for repairs. Xander, meanwhile, just set the fastest lap out front. Now has over a 1.5 second lead on Alul. Debelo now in 3rd, but the Minister of Defense, Mike Dolling, on the move. He is closing the gap quickly on Debelo. Rudolph Gunther back in 5th. Mike Marshall has dropped to 6th and has Yannick Gunther on his bumper in 7th. And let's see if we can dial up the in-car camera for our leader, Xander, to listen. If you look at the numbers there, they are shifting around 7,500, I believe. That's where most of the drivers were saying the power band on that dual turbo is. Looks like Xander's shifting at about 7,000 RPM, much lower than everybody else. But after a certain RPM, those turbos do flatten out. They do not have the same amount of power. For his first time in the car, Xander got this thing figured out very, very quickly and is pulling away from second place, Nathan Alul. Byron Debelow sitting in third. Mike Dalling now up into fourth, closing the gap on Debelow. He is 1.7 seconds back and closing. Rudolph Gunther back in fifth. We've talked about it last season and again this season. That Porsche just does not have the straight line speed to compete up front on a track like Monza that has such long straightaways. Hey, good morning, MMS TV. How are you? Xander's lead shrunk a little bit that time by. Looks like the power in that Merc might be the only thing that can stop the charge of the McLaren this morning. Mike Dalling still trying to close in on the Ferrari of Byron Debelow. And remember, folks, after race one, the top 7 will invert. As of right now, that would put Yannick Gunther back in 7th, starting on the pole. Yannick, though, trying to close the gap on Mike Marshall. Nathan Alul just set the fastest lap in the Mercedes. Half a second faster than Xander's fastest lap. He is on the march. The Mercedes power here definitely coming into play. Well, those McLarens seem to have a lot of power and handle great. Do they have enough to overcome all the monstrous power of the Merc? Rudolph Gunther, Mike Marshall, and Yannick Gunther still closing up on each other. We may end up with a battle at the back as well before this one is over. Xander did end up with over a 3-second lead a few laps ago, but Nathan Alul is closing the gap steadily. That time by, Alul was just 1/100th of a second faster than the leader. If these two get side by side at any point today, it's going to be a very, very close race. Adam Barker surprisingly still on pit road. He may not come back out for race 1, which will put him starting back in 8th for race 2. A little closing the gap now to 2.5 seconds. Byron Debelow has no answer. He is 6 seconds back. He is pulling away from Mike Dolling. Rudolph Gunther in fifth, 2 seconds ahead of Mike Marshall. And Mike has now pulled 2.5 seconds on the Porsche of Yannick. Not surprised to see the Porsche struggling here this morning. As we mentioned earlier, they are not known for their straight line speed. That new McLaren we have only seen on track one time last week. It is definitely interesting to see 4 McLarens on track this week. Dolling still trying to close up on Byron. Rudolph, Mike Marshall, and Yannick Gunther all separating out just a bit. A very clean race so far. Only one bit of contact between Alul and Barker. The drivers did mention some changes in the track limits this morning. Several drivers are testing those limits to carry as much speed as possible. You have to wonder though, right now, with the full field invert, or with the 7-car invert going into race 2, that's going to put Yannick in the Porsche on the pole with Rudolph right behind him. Can the Porsches defend long enough to keep everybody else behind for a while? Mike Dolling is closing back up on 3rd place. Byron Debelow. We did say that McLaren, a lot of drivers saw a 1 second difference on track. But up front, Xander continues to hold that 2.7 second lead over Alul. Alul gains a little ground on the straightaways. He has been chipping away, but at 100th or a couple hundredths of a second a lap, it's not going to be enough with just under 4 to go. Mike Dolling continuing to close up on Byron. The 3 in the back, especially the 2 Porsches, really struggling here this morning. Rudolph Gunther set his fastest lap last time by, but it was a second slower than the leaders. and half a second slower than most of the field just due to the Porsche's lack of straight line speed. Mike Marshall in the amateur division with Harry Volsmere not being here. Mike is going to make up a lot of ground in that amateur division. But the new McLaren just seems to be the class of the field, especially with Xander at the wheel. Xander headed toward the final turn. The carousel may see the white flag this time. No white flag yet, so they will get, looks like, 2 more laps. Alul lost a lot of ground on that last lap. Looked like he had a couple of off tracks and likely a big slowdown. He is now 3 1/4 seconds back. Byron Debelow still holds on to third. Mike Dolling continues to close, but is still 2.5 seconds back and is likely not going to have the time. That McLaren does look like it is handling the turns very, very well. And with that twin turbo power, it definitely seems to be the class of the field. Headed back toward the final turn for the leader, Xander. Down the front straightaway, likely to see the white flag this time. Byron Debelow holding on to third for the moment, but looks like Dolling has closed the gap in a big, big way. And here he comes. Mike Dolling, the Minister of Defense, takes third. Hey, good morning, Thomas. Thank you, buddy. Looks like Byron may have gotten a slowdown there. Meanwhile, Alul just set the fastest lap last time by. Holy cow, Alul on the attack after losing a bunch of ground, but it does not look like it's going to be enough to catch Xander. Xander just dominating the race all morning long. He will have to start race 2 from 7th place. I don't know that that will even phase him. And out of the final turn, Xander dominates race 1. He will pull off the race 1 win here at Monza. Nathan Alul comes home second, and with the last lap pass, Dowling comes home in third. And let's see if we can get a word with our top 3 drivers. Starting with third place, Mike Dowling. Mike, a great job. You came home in third with a pass on the last lap.
Well, I think it's because Byron ran out of fuel, bless him. Unfortunately, yeah, I think, and we're not entirely sure, but we think he might have been out of fuel, which is a real shame because I couldn't catch him. I could close the gap a bit, close a little bit, and then it would open a bit. It was good racing. He would definitely had the edge on me, but I think he ran out of gas, which I'm okay with. I'll take the third place. You know.
I have to say it was dramatic. You chipping away at him, but it didn't look like you had enough. And then suddenly down the front straightaway, he just it was wild. But man, a great job, and man, that new car looks awesome.
Thank you. Cheers. Appreciate it.
Nathan Alul coming home in second. Actually, I do not see Nathan available, so let's talk to our winner, Xander. Xander, congratulations. I have to say, all the drivers said when they saw you that they were racing for second. You hopped in the car for the first time and just dominated.
Yeah, it was a nice race. First time racing the McLaren, so testing it out. It's a fun car.
It definitely did, and we were riding along with you. Notice we talked about it before the race a little with you guys, but the lower shift point in that car, you guys come up through the gears faster. Did it lack at top speed at all?
No, not really. It was fine, I think. Was just sliding around a bit.
Well, now you have to come from 7th place to the front. That car is awfully fast. Can you get it done?
I hope so. We will see.
Well, man, it's great to see you back on track, and congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, Doug.
Xander pulling off the win. And what a dominant performance it was as well. None of the drivers coming out for warm-up, it appears. Let's all take a quick moment to catch our breath. It's going to get wild in race 2 with the top 7 inverted. And this is likely when we see some excitement going into the first chicane. Looks like Xander is going to roll out, as is Byron. Xander pulling over for a minute. Byron headed out. I suspect Byron will have made some changes to the fuel load. And if anybody could tell me what that is on the side of Byron's car, I'd really appreciate it, because the first week I thought it was a Star Wars paint scheme, but now I realize it's not. I just can't tell what it is. See if we can get one of the cameramen to get a better angle. Nope. Oh, I see. A Stand with Ukraine paint scheme. Okay. Very, very nice. Huge shout out to him for running that. And now we are just a few seconds away from race 2, folks. Things are about to heat up. Let's go racing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Race 2. Invert the top 7. Byron Devereaux and Yannick Gunther have the front row. Mike Marshall and Rudolph Gunther on the second row. Mike Dalling and Nathan Alul on the third row. Xander and Adam Barker round out the field. I suspect after race 1, a couple of things are going to happen here. The Porsches are going to do everything they can to defend and stand up front. Adam Barker is going to be out to get back to the front after being out early. And likely to see Xander come charging. All the cars out there fully fueled and rolling. They will have to make a fuel stop. Not sure how many tire changes we're going to see this morning. Be interesting to see how the McLaren's tire wear is as well. Ferrari and Porsche on the front row. McLaren's in 3rd, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Any wild predictions? Drop in the comments. Let us know who you think's going to pull this off or which make of car will get it done. Byron leads them out of the turn. Porsche pace car ducks in. They are free and turning them loose. They all fired 3 wide up front. Green is in the air. The Porsches are going to try and fight their 4 wide headed into the first chicane. This may not end well. And look at, whoa. Mike Marshall overshot, weaves through his out. Nathan Alul did the same thing. He is coming. Mike Marshall has the leap and a slowdown. Byron Devereaux quickly to the lead, but Team Gunther battling amongst themselves. That is preventing anybody from getting, whoa! Yannick goes wide into the sand. And here comes Dalling. But Barker, after a catastrophic race 1, on the attack. Xander already up into 5th place. Barker still trying to attack. Looks like Barker may have a run here. And Barker's going to take it. Dalling to 4th, now has Xander to contend with. Byron Devereaux as they battle back behind, opening up a gap, 1.4 seconds at the moment. Barker now to 3rd. Dalling going side by side. Nathan Alul right behind, but Xander right there in fourth. Xander has the momentum out of the turn, but Alul in the Mercedes on the attack. The top three have a clean line into the chicane. Now it's a battle. Xander pulls ahead. Dowling right behind. Dowling slips. Alul may get his opportunity. Mercedes power pulling ahead for the moment, but that new McLaren not a slouch. Nathan Alul now to fifth. Xander up to fourth already on Barker's bumper. Byron Debelow has the lead, followed by Rudolph Gunther. And let's take a quick look at some of the early incidents. Here's that move. Mike Marshall makes it 4 wide. He just does not break, doesn't want to get caught up in the chaos. Nathan Alul does the same thing. Both of them make their way through the slowdown. Then moments later, Team Gunther side by side. Looks like Rudolph off the sausage bumps Yannick and sends him through the sand. A few moments later, looks like Alul in the Merc had some problems. Oh, tries to make a move, but everybody spreads out. He goes off into the grass. Byron out front set the fastest lap of race 2 so far. It will not stand, as Barker is closing in just 1.1 seconds behind. Hey, good morning, Kevin. Thank you, buddy. Good to be back. Xander has made his way to third. Barker in second. The Porsche of Rudolph Gunther dropping back. Porsche's lacking that straight line speed, having a huge impact here this morning. Nathan Alul did have a slowdown, it looks like, after that incident, but whoa! What happened to Xander going into the carousel? He lost a lot of momentum. Xander quickly back on the attack. Looked like he had just gone way wide, overshot the braking point. Xander already back up into third past Alul. Adam Barker holds on to second. Debelow still has a bit of a gap. Debelow may be able to run away here in a moment as Xander's closing in on Barker, and he is bringing Nathan Alul and Rudolph Gunther with him. Byron definitely wants to see some battling from second place on back. Adam Barker sits in second, Xander in third, Alul in fourth. Right now their speeds very, very even. But Alul that time by did set the fastest lap so far. Oh! Rudolph off in the dirt. Rudolph quickly recovering the car, but now Mike Doling on the attack on the high side. And that twin-turbo McLaren just shoots by. Mike Marshall, Yannick Gunther battling back behind as well. Multiple battles going on track at the moment. Adam Barker looking for redemption after race one has started closing back in on Byron. Byron now just 1 1/4 seconds ahead of that battle for second. Second, third, and fourth nose to tail, but this coming out of this final turn onto the front straightaway is where that Mercedes pulls up. Now the new McLaren, it does sound really good, but that Mercedes still the car to beat with the sound. Looks like they're going by so fast we can't get a good listen at their engine. But you can definitely hear the roar of that Mercedes as it passes. Alul continues each time to set the fastest lap. The top four are now all within 1 second of each other. Things about to heat up front. Mike Doling back in fifth, Rudolph Gunther in sixth. They definitely want to see a battle up ahead. Byron definitely hoping they start battling behind him. And he gets a chance to pull away. It looks like Barker on the move. Looks like he had the momentum out of the turn, couldn't capitalize. Now Xander down to the inside. Barker to the high side. 3 wide. No, they back out 2 wide into the chicane. Barker out front. Xander still in third. Byron able to defend second place. But Adam Barker has taken the lead. Xander tried to set up on Byron, couldn't get there. Nathan Alul right behind has not made an aggressive move yet. Just biding his time. Adam Barker clear of the battle back behind, starting to pull away a 0.6 of a second lead. Mike Dolling, meanwhile, bringing Rudolph with him. They were 5 seconds behind, now less than 4. Closing quickly on that lead pack. Sometimes, Kevin, sometimes. Hey, thank you for the stars, Kevin. Appreciate you, buddy. We've got another attack. Xander's going to try and make the move into the chicane. He's got the position. Can he get it done on the power? Side by side out of the chicane with the Ferrari. Oh! The Ferrari of Byron Debelow is in the wall. Xander got a piece of it. Taking a look at this incident once again. Xander side by side trying to get some side draft there. And it looks like Byron may have just slipped out across the nose. Byron's car, heavy damage. He has taken it to pit road. Hey, good morning, cowboy. Adam Barker, after all that chaos, into the lead. Nathan Alul in second. Xander now to third. Mike Dolling in fourth. Rudolph Gunther in fifth. Mike Marshall in sixth. Yannick back in seventh. Debelow on pit road in eighth. Nathan and Xander have already caught back up to the leader, and Xander makes the move. He is not going to let Barker get very far. They are side by side, practically touching. Alul manages to keep his foot in it just a little longer and reclaims second. Barker definitely wants them to keep battling back behind single file. They are catching back up less than half a second behind the leader. Out of that first chicane, all three fairly equal. All three, the top three nose to tail. They are pulling away from Mike Dolling again, and Yannick Gunther has had a problem. There's Yannick trying to gain some ground. And oh, look, we saw that a lot last week. He just gets the sausage a little too hard. Quickly recovers the car and gets going, but lost a lot of ground. Top three still nose to tail. Xander tried pulling out. Now Alul's going to go to the outside into the chicane, but Barker outbrakes him. No changes at the front, but every time they start battling, Dolling gains at least half a second. He has pulled away from 5th place, Rudolph Gunther. Mike Marshall back in 6th, Yannick in 7th, Byron back out on track in 8th. One braking miss. Whoa! Let's take a look at Xander taking flight. Now watch this. Xander coming through that the final chicane, excuse me, gets that curb, that sausage a little too hard. He got a little bit of air out of that one. See, they generally just hit it with one side. Xander got it with everything, slid wide, kept it out of the wall. If there had been more grass there, he'd have been in trouble. Hey, good morning, Pat. Adam Barker, Nathan Alul, and Xander still nose to tail. Mike Dolling lurking about 4.5 seconds back. I would not count the Minister of Defense out of this one yet. And let's take a look before they go to pit road and potentially spread out. Let's try out our new speed cam with the top three. Here we go, another battle into the first chicane. Alul has the inside. It's going to be close, but Alul pulls ahead. Xander almost got the inside on Barker. Xander just set the fastest lap last time by. Folks, a lot more great racing to come tonight. 7:30 Eastern. BRR Cup Series is back. 9:30 Eastern tonight. SMR Gen 4 Cup Series also going to be on track. Tomorrow night, Jones BS Racing double headers are back as well with the mini stocks. Tuesday night, XCal will take on the Legends Oval at Charlotte. Wednesday night, C12 Motorsports is back as well. What a season they have had. And Thursday night, Home Motorsports playoffs continue. Yes, folks, we are back in full swing. And once again, my apologies to both C12 and XCal for being unable to broadcast Tuesday and Wednesday nights. Now, the funny story, I did try to figure out how to broadcast from the hospital. That battle between the top three definitely did not help. Hey, good morning, Brian. Mike Dalling lost a little bit more ground. Back and forth, Rudolph Gunther lost ground in 5th, Mike Marshall in 6th, Yannick in 7th. Byron, as mentioned, back out on track in 8th, but we are approaching pit stops. Pit strategy could be huge. How you doing this morning, Brian? Xander went way wide again. He did say on those late in the run, the car started getting slidey in race 1. Xander has gone to pit road. He is up. Fresh tires going on the McLaren. Keep an eye on Adam Barker in the second place McLaren to see how slidey that car is getting. But it does not look like the Mercedes is sliding as it's pulling away. Yep, starting to see Barker sliding around. We'll definitely watch in the final chicane to see how the car does. Here we go into that final chicane. How does that McLaren handle for Barker? Yeah, a little slide from the car now. Hey, Brian, I missed you guys too. I am glad to be back, buddy. The Mercedes of Nathan Alul just set the fastest lap of the race. Rudolph Gunther is on pit road. Adam Barker in second is losing ground. Alul now has a 2-second lead, Dowling in third. Xander is back out on track with 4 fresh tires. Yannick Gunther just coming off pit road. He has got fresh tires, as does Rudolph. Looks like we will see everybody making tire changes this morning. And the leader is in. He brings Barker and Dowling with him. Expect to see Mike Marshall in fourth, also in this time. And here he comes. Marshall will complete the cycle. Now the question is, can Xander make up the ground he had lost before stops? Alul on his way out. Adam on his way out. Xander's back to second. Oh! Xander had a problem in the first chicane. Likely losing a lot of time here. Barker back to third. Dowling's going to be in fourth. Rudolph back to fifth. Xander in second place, 3 seconds back at the moment. Based on race 1, I'm not counting him out yet. But Nathan Alul continues to pull away. The Mercedes power on the straightaway may be unbeatable. Alul had problems in race 1, got sent off track, could not get back to the front. Now that he is out front, he is starting to pull away. But with all the drivers on fresh tires, we could see some very fast laps in the next couple of laps. Track temperature has gone up a bit, now 76 degrees, but for these cars and these drivers, that is not very hot for them. A little out front. Let's see what kind of speeds he is getting on the front, on the straightaways in general. Coming down through the dip, he's up to almost 160. Headed toward the carousel, 150 miles an hour, 155. 158. Carrying as much speed through there as possible, back on the throttle. Will he hit 160 before that first chicane? Oh, most definitely 164. 165. Hey, good morning, Ryan. Xander just set the fastest lap of the race and is closing in. Let's see what kind of speeds the twin-turbo McLaren is getting. How's it going this morning, Ryan? .156 through there. Xander is full send and has caught up to the leader. We saw 155 for the Merc through here last time. 157, 158, 159 for the McLaren. However, Xander does have the advantage of the slipstream through here. .162, wow. Ryan, that is all I did yesterday, hanging out with the kid. And down the front straightaway, will Xander try and make a move into the chicane? 167, but can't get set up far enough in. Alul still has the lead, but for how much longer with the McLaren on his bumper? Adam back in third, Dolling in fourth, Rudolph in fifth. Mike Marshall currently running in sixth, Yannick in seventh, Byron in eighth. Byron is actually gaining ground on the cars ahead after that catastrophe earlier in the race, but with only 13 minutes to go, I don't think he's going to catch him. Barker back in third, pushing to his limit, unable to catch up with the top two after racing with them for countless laps. Xander pulling back up to Alul into the chicane. Doesn't have the momentum to set up the pass. Alul has just been, whoa, Xander really pushing it on the rumble strips, kicked it out a little. I've been there, Ryan. Trust me, buddy, take every moment you can with your kid. The top two still nose to tail, still pulling away from everybody back behind. Barker not gaining any ground, doling up to fourth. Rudolph in fifth, Mike Marshall sixth, Yannick Gunther seventh, Byron in eighth. Byron has actually gained 8 seconds on Yannick. But with 41 seconds behind, I don't know if he'll have enough to catch up. And here we go, the move for the lead. Xander side by side. Alul going in late. Not enough. It looked like Alul slipped on entry and gave Xander just enough to pull out. Xander goes a little wide, Alul back on the attack. Does the Mercedes have enough to pass the McLaren? Hearing it from the drivers, the McLaren and that Mercedes fairly even on power and speed, but that McLaren handles much better as Mike Marshall has had a problem. There's Mike coming in. He has had such a good morning. I'll just miss the entry to the chicane. Has to take the slowdown. Does get rolling. No damage to the car. Alul right to the bumper, does not make a move. However, their battle is allowing Barker to close in. He is now 3.7 back. He has to hope the top two continue to battle. Alul peeked out for a moment. Couldn't do anything with it quite yet. Barker now 4 seconds behind, not gaining anything at the moment. This is where we have seen these two be equals and battle it out down the front straightaway. A little right to the bumper. Brakes just a little bit sooner into the chicane. Mike Dolling back in fourth. Rudolph in fifth. Mike Marshall in sixth. Yannick in seventh, closing in. Mike Marshall having a great start to the season. That new McLaren definitely suiting him. You have to wonder which one of these top two will be able to get it done, or will they end up in a fiery ball at the side of the track? Down the front straightaway once again. Oh, Mercedes kicking out of the chicane. Alul definitely giving her all she's got. Such a close battle between these two drivers. They continue to pull away from third place Adam Barker. The gap is now 5 seconds. Dolling in fourth. Rudolph in fifth. Marshall in sixth. Yannick in seventh has lost ground to Marshall. Byron back in seventh, now just 32 seconds behind Yannick, but he will not have time. And with the pace the top two are setting, they may end up in lap traffic before it's all said and done. Byron Devereaux has come back to pit road. A little look to set up, but did not make the move. That time, Devereaux on his way off pit road. Mike Marshall had an off track a moment ago. Yannick Gunther has caught him. Mike has had one heck of a run this morning. Can he hold on to that position? Should be seeing white flag this time by. They may get another shot at it. It's going to be close on the flag. And no white flag this time. We may get the checker next time, or we may get the white next time. It's going to be close. Yannick Gunther has managed to get past Mike Marshall. Mike staying with him. Does he have enough left to make the attack? Alul keeps peeking out. He is looking for any opportunity. Both drivers testing track limits here. Alul flashing the lights, telling him to move, but I don't think Xander's gonna make it that easy. Alul looked low into the carousel, does not make the move yet. Adam Barker, despite the battling behind, battling ahead rather, is gaining no ground. He is now over 7 seconds back. Xander and Nathan have stepped up the pace here this morning late in the race. Xander, for the moment, holding him off. Alul right on the bumper as Mike Marshall trying to reclaim the position back behind. He'll have the advantage down the front straightaway. Can he get it done? It is definitely a drag race. The McLaren is winning. And Mike Marshall, wait a minute. No, Mike will reclaim 6th place. Meanwhile, out of the final turn after driving to, what the? Something went terribly wrong with Xander. Nathan Alul will pull off the win. Adam Barker is going to come home in 2nd. Xander is done. And Mike Dolling will come home in 3rd. What an upset. Let's talk to our top 3, starting with Dolling. Mike, last lap, last turn, you end up coming home in 3rd due to weirdness.
I know. Xander had a drive-through, that's why.
Oh my goodness, Xander had a drive-through, so he just parked it in the wall.
Oh yeah. Yeah, oh, hello. I just got rear-ended again. But yeah, we knew that he had a drive-through, so I was like, this is going to happen again. I'm going to get another gift. I'm like, I'll take that. It's gifts all round today.
It definitely is, and it definitely worked out in your favor, man. How was the McLaren this morning?
I tell you, it's nice. I like it. It's good. It's a nice car to drive. I think I need to figure out how to manage its tyre temperatures better. But generally, yeah, I like it. It's a good car.
Well,
I'm happy with it.
It was definitely a great showing this morning. Congratulations, buddy.
Cheers, Doug. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Mike Dolly comes home in third. Barker coming home in second. Adam, a last lap gift puts you up to second place. It was definitely a wild ending.
Crazy ending. I think he had a drive-through anyway. That's why he put it in the wall. But really good race. Nathan and Xander were just too quick. I just couldn't keep up. I was burning the front left tire a little bit too much in the early part, I think, and was struggling towards the end. And then the same after the pit stop. So put a little bit too much fuel in as well. So that penalised me a little bit as well. But yeah, really good race. Really enjoyable.
Well, a great job and a great second place finish. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And it does not look like we have our winner, Nathan Alul, available. Wild finish here this morning. Don't forget, 7:30 tonight, BRR Cup Series is back, followed by SMR Gen 4. And a lot more great racing to come this week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you guys had as much fun as we did. Hope everybody has a great day and hope we see you back here tonight.